Hi, welcome back. As promised, we're going to talk about festive demand and take the auto theme forward. We have the top team of ESCORTS now with us. Bharat Madan, the group CFO, and Shenu Agarwal, the CEO of the agri machinery business, join in. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining in. Mr. Agarwal, I want to start with you. The month of October was very strong in terms of tractor sales. It was almost a 30% growth that you saw. How are November and December shaping up, and what kind of growth do you see by the end of the year?
Yeah, I think the market has shown very positive momentum in the tractor industry, and we think it is going to continue moving forward. So at least until Q1 of next year, we think that we are going to see very positive momentum in the demand.
Okay. Likewise to you, Bharat, what's your outlook on the agri machinery? Have you seen that pick up? I mean, even besides tractors?
Yeah, I think if you look at our numbers, I think we have been doing better. I think in the first 6 months also the growth was good for the industry. The industry growth was about 10%. But I think like we mentioned earlier in the last call also, I think this quarter is going to be pretty robust because the change of festive season months now from Q2 to Q3. So third quarter is going to be pretty strong for the industry, though Q4 may not be as strong, it may be slightly muted. But overall, I think growth guidance for the year remains what we had actually given earlier, which is 12 to 14% in the range.
Okay, so we'll hold on to the 12 to 14% volume guidance for the full year. That's about the tractor business. Mr. Madan, you know, this quarter, the big takeaway was how the construction business has grown. So the volumes are very strong, almost a 37% growth. And you did tell us about how demand for cranes, loaders and compactors has gone up. What kind of a growth do you see in the construction business by the end of the year? I mean, this time you've already seen a 50% revenue growth, but by the end of the year, where do you see the construction business?
See, normally for construction, we see the second half is normally a very strong period for growth. After the monsoons and over, the activity really start picking up. So we think the second half will continue to show the similar growth trend. And we have given a guidance of 30% plus growth on the construction equipment business for full year basis. And we've already seen 38, 39% growth happening in the first 6 months. So we expect the momentum will continue in the infra space, and that should likely give us good growth opportunities.
Okay. Well, actually, the tractor sales in October were very strong. And the agri machinery business, or rather tractor business, in the quarter gone by was only 7% higher in terms of revenues. Mr. Agarwal, what do you think? The second half looks much brighter?
Yeah, see, there has been a shift in the festive season this time, and that's why, you know, Q2, both the market and our numbers were less than the averages that we have been doing. But October, as you have seen, is already gone very, very strong, and November will be actually much more stronger than October in terms of percentage growth, right? So Q3 will be much more better this year than Q2. And overall, by, I think, end of Q3, we do expect industry growth of 15%. And as we have been doing for the last few quarters, ESCORTS is beating the industry growth by a handsome margin. So we will continue to do that now.
Margins
also
hurt, Mr. Agarwal, you know, considering the raw material costs, interest costs. Will there be an impact on margins?
See, inflation has been more than expected, what we had expected, and that is because, I think, because of the demand that we are seeing in all the sectors. But we have been able to pass on the impact of the inflation, right? And despite that, we have been able to grow much better than the industry, right? So we are not too much worried about the inflation. Of course, it is higher than what we would have liked to be. But looking at the momentum in the market, we have been able to pass it on without any problems.
Mr. Madan, coming back to the construction business, you know, you were telling us in the presentation that the compactor segment has been the biggest gainer, almost an 85% growth. Is this a high margin product for you? And will the blended margins go up because of the improvement in the construction business?
Well, yes, I think compactor, which is totally driven by the road segment, and we're seeing very good growth happening on the road segment front, so which is what is driving the demand. So we had seen strong number coming in on the compactor. I think overall for the first half, the numbers have been pretty good. And normally we do better margins, better than average margin on the contractor business. So definitely that will also have some favorable impact on the margin for the construction business for us. But overall, like we would given a guidance, probably this year for construction, we should be ending in the positive terrain of roughly 4 to 5% sort of EBIT margin. So we are maintaining that guidance for the full year.
Okay, so however, exports done, and any thoughts for the quarter under review, for the current quarter?
See, so far we've seen the growth in exports on tractors, especially roughly about 18-19% so far in the first 7 months of the year. Though we have internally aiming for 40 to 50% growth numbers for this year. And we have very strong order pipeline now for the export numbers, and since the initial focus was more on the domestic side because of the festive season being there, so now the focus will shift towards the export. So we'll see good numbers coming in on the export front on the balance months. So we still expect probably we should be able to touch 40% growth, 40 to 50% growth on export numbers on a full year basis.
Okay, so you gave us the targets for the full year in the tractor business, 12 to 14%, construction business, 30% growth. What about the railway business? This time was very strong for railways as well. You saw 44% growth there. What kind of orders are you seeing? What's the order book and the growth by the end of the year?
So order book in railways also continues to be very strong. I think it's one of the highest order book we are sitting at today, which is 400 crores plus, which is enough to take care of really the next 12 to 13 months of our supplies. So, and we're getting very decent margin in the railway business too. I think if you look at the numbers also in the last 6 months, the margin expansion has been pretty decent in railway. Though I think going forward, because the inflation setting in, and so these are normally fixed price contracts, so we'll see some impact coming in the margin on railway, but still on a full year basis, we expect the margin improvement will happen, and probably will still show a growth of 30-35% in the railway business too on a full year basis.
All right, gentlemen, thanks a lot for your time today. It was good talking to you. That's ESCORTS, a stock which has been quite volatile. Of course, from the lows, it's seen quite a bit of recovery. In line with the market from the recent lows, that is. But the markets, well, the Nifty is at the low point of the day for all practical purposes. Ashwani Gujral, Mitesh Thakkar with us, and in a bit we'll get Sandeep Pagle as well. Ashwani, you took the long at open. Is that a trade that you're carrying, and what would be the stop loss for that trade, and what are your stock calls now?
The long trade has been taken